almost forgot about this.
Oh yeah, that's all good, bro. I'm glad you showed up. How's your day going? Happy New Year.
Uh, yeah, Happy New Year, Alex.
Yeah, good to meet you. What is how do you say your name?
Gildardo.
Gildardo, of course. Yeah. Well, I'm Alex. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet
Uh,
you, Alex.
well, appreciate you joining our group, man. Hope that I can help you make more money. As a barbershop owner. Do you own a shop?
Uh, I'm actually gonna open a hope this week.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. That's great, man. The
I owned shops before, like 4 years ago.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I remember you saying something like that. Yeah, you said you're opening a shop next week. You've opened two other shops, but you sold them 5 years ago. Been a barber for 12 years. Is that right?
Yeah,
Cool. Sweet, man. So, where's your shop gonna be?
Las Vegas.
Awesome. I've been there.
You're in California, right? Is it?
I'm in Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah,
Okay.
opposite side. So
Uh,
it's what you're probably a few hours behind or ahead of me, right? It's like 6 o'clock over here. So over there it's probably like three or four, something like that.
okay, okay. Yeah, it is different time. Yeah, so I hope to open this week coming up if everything works out.
Mm-hmm.
But so I guess pretty much I wanted to know how to do commission because that was my goal right now because I did the booth rental
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, I just felt I didn't have control over the whole barber and the whole thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel commission will give me a little more control. I guess I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely ask more of the barbers if they're on commission, for sure, especially if they're employees. So it depends on how you want to structure it. It's not like illegal to do contractors as long as you don't cross that line as far as like certain things, although a lot of people do it anyways. Um, you
Yeah,
know.
that's what caught my attention actually. When I saw a video about that,
Mm-hmm.
you were speaking about it. I'm like, okay, so I'm confused on that part of it. So I
Okay.
wanted your guidance.
Yeah, well, we're actually in the on Mon. It's not next Monday, but the Monday after next, I think. Uh, yeah, it's on the 13th. We have of January. There's a call coming up where actually my attorney, who specializes in employment law, he's gonna be like answering questions about this kind of stuff, basically. But I've talked to him about it, and basically it comes down to like control. Like, so if you want to tell them when to be there, how much to charge, um, how to do with certain things. If you're providing training, then you're treating them like employees, and that's when you might have to. That's when in order to do it legally, you have to consider them a W-2 employee, take taxes out of their paycheck and everything.
Okay.
Now, just because that's the way it's supposed to be, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what everybody does. But
Yeah.
if we're following the law to the letter, then that's basically how you can tell which one. Now, if they can use their own booking app and they can come and go as they please and charge whatever they want, then they would be probably considered independent contractors. You know, and at that point you would just give them a 1099 at the end of the year. They keep whatever commission split you decide on, and that's it. Super easy, simple. That's why a lot of people do it that way, because the contractors are like the easiest way to do it. You don't have to worry about taxes, nothing. You're just like, here's your cut. You take care of the taxes. So,
But
which way were you thinking?
I'm still on commission, and that's the thing. I'm not. I guess I'm not worried about the more work because I feel like that's the better thing to do. But it just I don't know how to do the taxes. I don't know how to do the payroll, or if I need to
Mm-hmm.
do payroll. That's the thing I don't understand. That's why I wanted to join the your mentorship because I think that's the route to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to do the work to
Yeah.
figure that out.
Yeah, and employee. I don't want to like turn you off of employees. I'm just being realistic, like it's a ton more work than having contractors. But I use tools for this stuff. You know, like the software that I use, I can share the link with you. It takes care of everything. Like I just put in like this is how many hours they worked, this is what they did. It figures it out, and then I'm just like you just hit submit payroll, and then it takes care of everything. You know, so there's a lot of tools out there like that it's gonna make your job easier. So but it is more work than having just contractors, right?
Yeah, I mean, I want to have my girlfriend to help me out. She's gonna be at my front desk, so I
Oh,
feel like,
nice.
so I think, and she kind of knows a little bit of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She runs her own business,
Oh,
so I
perfect.
think, so yeah, I just didn't know how to do it for myself. So I'm thinking, yeah, so just if I could figure out that system you use, and then I guess figure out how to get those, what is it, you said those tax forms,
Mm-hmm.
then I could get started. So yeah, so I was thinking at least my first month now, just figure out what booking system I'm gonna use, right?
Mm-hmm.
Figure out how I'm gonna just operate the whole thing, and then start looking for barbers. But I'm not in a hurry, and that was the difference that I think my approach now is like I'm willing to be there by myself. It doesn't really matter
Mm-hmm.
for like as long as I need to be there, you know. And I don't really care if I need to hire anybody or not, because overall I feel like I'm just gonna be making more money myself now, you know.
I think that's a great way to start. That and because that's exactly what I did. You know, when I started my shop, it was just me, and it was just me for like 6 months. Like I tried hiring people, it didn't work out. You know, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself, and then I'm not gonna hire anybody until I get to the point where like I'm turning people away because I'm booked. You know, and that's what I did. And then actually, my girlfriend, now my wife, it helped me build the shop. So I also think that that's a good decision to have somebody that you can trust to kind of help you keep an eye on the place when you're not there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think because I thought about it the first time I was in a hurry. I didn't know anything about business, and I didn't know anything about running a barbershop. I just followed the guy who I worked for,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was gonna be easier. But I was very desperate to hire people, you know, because I
Yeah.
didn't know anything about like budgeting, you know. But now it's like, okay, I mean, I don't own a home, I don't even own a car, so it's like my only expense is gonna be my rent from my shop, you know.
Very good.
So I think I could stay there as long as I need to.
Yeah, that makes you dangerous, man. That's good. It's gonna be tough to compete with you because you can just outwork people, and you don't need a team. Like I mean, not yet. I mean, you will hopefully. All right.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, right now I started working at my house. I worked in my house for like 2, 3 years. So that's why I was just chilling, figuring out because I didn't believe in the barbershop system after the booth rental and commission.
mhm.
During COVID, I was like, this shop stuff doesn't work, man, you know? So
Yeah.
that's why I try to do real estate, I try to do other things. But, uh, but I'm coming back after watching other videos and watching you, and I think there is a way, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And the way that I do it is no different than the biggest companies in our industry. Like the big franchises, they all do. It's all employees. They do pay. They have payroll. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not. There's different ways of running a barbershop. And it's not like one way is the best way. It depends on your goals. So, what are your goals? Do you want to get to just have the one location and you be good there,
Well,
or what's the
my
goal?
goal is pretty much
Mm-hmm.
build a system where I don't have to be there, and I believe it's possible, right? With the right management and the right, like I said, systems, training, right? I think it's possible. I'm shooting pretty fast, but I want to build a system where I have my managers running this place, and I don't have to be there myself. That's my goal. You know, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't really have like a money goal. Like I just want to have passive income. I want to have a system that where it just runs itself. You know, I'm not crazy about how much money I make. I want
Mm-hmm.
to make sure everyone's good, and because I don't need too much money to live. I live with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have kids. I don't need too much money. I just want to have a good system. That's my goal.
So I guess the another way to ask the question would be, there's basically like two different types of businesses out there, two different types of barbershops. One would be like a lifestyle type of business, where this is just a way to like support yourself, but you're not really like trying to grow. You just want to like use the business, the revenue from the business to kind of support your lifestyle.
Pretty much.
And you're fine with like one location and you're good. The other type of business would be like you're trying to like build an empire, and you're trying to like grow and open more locations. So everything that you do has to kind of line up with like what that long-term goal is.
Gotcha. I think I like the first one.
Yeah.
I think at least for now, that's my vision. Like they figure out a system where you could run the barbershop. You don't have to be there, but at least your worker or employees are making good money.
Yeah.
Because also for them, and my clientele is happy for sure. That's the goal, right? And then honestly, I want to hop into the gym industry for some reason. I feel like I'm more passionate about that. So I'm thinking have a business where I could show how much income I'm making, right, as a business. And then maybe I'm thinking either what path I go. If it goes really good, that hey, you know what, people really want to be part of this whole thing. Maybe yeah, I'll expand. But I'm not sure yet. I want to first focus here
Mm-hmm.
and make sure this works. And then later, I guess whatever path takes me. I guess I haven't looked that far in the future.
Yeah, and it's okay not to not have that figured out right now either. Like,
Yeah.
and I've done both. In the beginning, I just treated the shop like kind of an ATM. I just pulled as much cash out as I could. Now I'm a lot more aggressive about just reinvesting back in the business because my goal is to grow.
Yeah.
And another reason why that's helpful to know that is because like you might be able to sacrifice some profit essentially if the goal isn't to grow as big as possible. So like I probably could pay my barbers a lot more if the goal wasn't to like get to like multiple locations. Because if the goal isn't to grow, if you think about it, then you can give a little bit more money to your people because you don't have to like be super profitable to have other like support staff, basically like accountants and you know managers and admin staff. People that don't cut hair.
Yeah, no. At least for me, the first year, I told myself from my previous experiences, it's like I'm not even trying to make any money. Like I'm willing to every single dollar that I make from the first year from my own money, I could put it back into the business, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even trying to make profit because for what I understand is like if I could survive the first year, I already won, you know. So I'm not into like the mindset. Let me make
Mm-hmm.
money this year. So I'm all about like I'm ready to lose. I mean, ready to invest all the money that I make this year. You know.
Yeah,
So
the hard part is actually, and that's where I come in, is like choosing, like, okay, once you do start making money, what's the best way to reinvest it back into the
yeah,
business? Um, because like I've made some bad decisions when it comes to that. So it's like you don't need new decorations for the shop. Maybe every now and then, right? But like you could take
that's
that
true.
money, put it back into advertising or something like that, to grow the shop even faster. Or
That's
you can
probably
you can hire people, right? That's probably the best way to if you have extra money, like let's hire somebody, let's do it, let's make even more.
yeah. That's very wise for sure.
Yeah, it's just
I probably don't know still because I'm still. I mean, I'm very trying to budget as much as I can, but the money thing I never really learned how to budget 100% because I never worried about it. So I
yeah.
always feel like people would like save money,
Mhm.
for a house or something. I already technically have a house because my parents. This is my house technically, so I don't really worry about the house situation. So I'm like I'm willing to risk everything because
Mhm.
I don't have no kids, and I'm like risk everything into something and go all out on something. because I'm not afraid of anything, you know. So I think that's what been my issue. But like you said, changing that mindset into like, hey, I could invest this into workers instead of buying that new thing, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You know, because it's not that like buying a car or anything is wrong. It's just what I've learned in business is like you have to do things in the right order. You know, like I was just telling one of my barbers yesterday. He said he wants to buy a house that's sometime this year, and a car. And I'm like, well, you can do both, but if you buy the car first, it's gonna make it harder to buy a house because your debt to income gets thrown off. But you can buy a house and then the next day after closing go buy a car. So you can do everything that you want to do, but the hard part is choosing the right order.
I
You know?
love that. I love that, Alex. That's amazing. I think that's one thing I heard from you. You can do everything. You just gotta figure out how, right?
Yeah,
How.
it's timing. I mean, it's honest. It's a lot of it. It's fucking timing. You know, it's luck, timing, and getting help. You know, um, so that's why I do it. You know, because I got help when I needed it for my business, and it completely turned it around. So I'm like, man, I want to do this for other people. You know.
Hey, I salute you, Alex, because that is crazy for somebody to do. You know, to help other people, and yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I do anyways. You know, I just don't usually like share it. But I only cut hair like, part time now, in the shop. I
Oh,
could stop like altogether right now if I could. The only reason I still cut hair is because I feel like that forces me to be in the shop more, you know? Like it's I don't know. For me, I come up with a lot of excuses, I guess, to not go to the shop if I'm not forced to be there. Like if I have appointments, you know.
that's
But
crazy. Yeah.
so I kind of force myself to show up at the shop by cutting hair because otherwise I don't really have to be there. You know, the shop can support me and my lifestyle, pay the barbers well without me being there, but I go there because it also I think makes me a better leader too. So even when you're not like cutting hair anymore, which is the goal, it sounds like, I still would recommend like showing your face regularly because people will start to maybe resent you. You know, like I mean, I'm just making this guy all this money, although they don't know, right? They don't know the numbers and they don't know that you might be like barely making it, but they start to think that, you know. Barbers are good at doing math when they want to be. So they might start. I'm making this guy all this money and he never shows up. So I think it's a really good idea to like show your face even when you don't have to cut hair anymore. Um, and by me cutting hair too, I'm also showing them like, hey, I can do it too. You know, like
Right.
I'm not gonna ask you to do anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah,
Let me
that's
show you.
very
You know.
wise, wise stuff. Like I'm still learning for sure, and that's some wisdom from you, Alex. Perfect. I mean, I just before I take more of your time, I just wanted to know the. Yes, I guess I'm about to open. I think this week.
Hmm.
I think I have everything ready. So what do you think I should do? Like, what should I start applying for those, whatever whatever you have going on? The system start going. I mean, booking system. I'm thinking using Bagaro.
Yeah, that's a good one. A lot of people use that. I use
What do you?
a software called Zenati. I'll send it to you. Um, I'll send you the link to the payroll software I use. I'll send you the link to the software I use. Um, I looked at everything that was out there, uh, and I ended up going with Zenati. I looked at the Vagaro too, um, just because Zenati to me seemed like it had everything that I needed or could ever need. Because that was another thing. Like when we first started, we used like simple software. Like I used Square for a really long time.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Square is like the easiest software on the market right now. So with the thing that I learned with software though is that you can either have accuracy or simplicity. It's hard to have both, right? So like I can teach somebody how to use Square in like 10 minutes, right? But when it comes to like running the numbers and like seeing how the business is doing, Square is not that great at that, you know, because it's not really built for like what we do. Like they have an appointment software and everything, but as far as I know, like they still don't like show you your retention, your customer retention, like your rebooking rate, your retail sales to percentage, or like these things that you really need to know if you really want to see how your shop's doing. So I think it's better to use a software that's built for our industry. So like Vigaro, like Zenati. Um, I don't know how to use Vigaro, to be honest. Like I have used it before, but it's been a long time. But I know people that use it and they speak highly of it. So I don't think you can go wrong with Vigaro or with Zenati or with basically any of the big names out there.
I was gonna tell you that I was looking into a mentor,
Mm-hmm.
somebody else. His name is Vinny DeLeon, and he recommended me Regaro, and I paid his deposit for his mentorship
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to make sure I had all the tools to make sure I succeed, right? So he was recommending me Regaro. The thing that I felt like even after I paid the deposit is I just felt like I don't really need that much. Uh, I only really was looking for the those payroll situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't really mentioning that thing you were mentioning about like how it's not legal, right? Because he was telling me about the what is it the commission thing, right? Side of it, and
Yeah.
running like it looks like he was running like employees. So I really don't know too much, but I think I'm still gonna go through the mentorship because I want to make sure I have
Mm-hmm.
two at this point two mentors because I believe in mentors.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And I think that's gonna give me an edge for sure for everybody that doesn't want to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, so he recommended Vigaro, so I might just do Vigaro, but I'm gonna look into the one you're saying and see, just look at videos, I guess, to see what they were talking about. But yeah, I guess so. Do you recommend me just to start off with so those are the tools I probably just need to start off. Is that what it is?
You need a way to process money. Um, you don't necessarily need a booking system from day one, but it would be a good idea. It's not something you want to rush into, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like take your time, talk to Vagaro, talk to Zenati, talk to a few other ones,
Oh yeah.
and I started. That's what I did. Because it's not expensive like money wise to switch software. It just it's expensive in terms of effort, especially if you know are using one for a while and then you end up switching because now you have to train your whole team on how to use the new software. All the clients have to learn how to book through the new software. So I mean, ideally, and this is why I did a lot of research before I switched from Square to Zenati. I was like, I don't want to switch again. Like this is gonna be the last software we ever use. So
Interesting.
don't rush into this process. Like unless you're like crazy, you'll know, right? You'll know because it's like I can't keep up with all these text messages and DMs about people like wanting to book an appointment. Like when we started, we literally just had I didn't even have like an appointment book. I just wrote it on like a blank piece of paper. Like just like David is coming in at 10. Like and then over time like you're kind of forced to make things more efficient, because you're starting to run out of time, right? You're spending all your day cutting hair and you're like, man, I can't keep up with all these phone calls, these text messages. So then that's when you start looking into tools to make your life easier. Now you can have if you have the time to talk to a few different companies and get something launched. But it's honestly like any software, Zenati, Vagaro, Squire, like any one of these that I've used, it's not like you can just turn it on and just start using it like tomorrow. Like there's like a setup period. So even if you signed up with Vagaro like today, best case scenario, it's gonna take you a few days to really like
Good thing.
to get it set up, and then it's gonna take you even longer, probably months, to like actually learn how to use that software.
I do like that what you just said because I don't want to switch again, and it's going to be a whole hassle to try to change clients. I mean, to teach the clients and teach the barbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much that's very good advice. Because I was going to do Squire. They were going to give me the trial, but yeah, I guess I know I'm taking over your time, but I just wanted one question. If I have another question, do I just type it in the school and somebody will help me there? If I
Yeah,
have any
there's
questions
there's
about like
other shop owners in the school group. It's really small too, so
perfect.
you get more attention right now while the group's small, so that's good. But we can do one of these calls every month if you want. And then we do the Q&A calls every week on Mondays usually. So if you're
Yeah.
available, you hop on a Q&A call. But the best resource is to probably put it in the group, so that
Yeah.
way I will answer it, but also like other people in the group can help you as well, because there's other shop owners that have employees that are in the group. So I think that's great. That you're going to be working with Vinny too, because I've talked to Vinny, because I was like, I don't know how I think it was he was on Marvy Marv's podcast,
Hmm.
and I was like, how's this dude doing $1 million out of one shop? So I talked to him, and we actually spoke on the phone, and he tried to sell me his mentorship or whatever. But when he showed me the way he does his payroll, I immediately knew like that he has contractors, right? Because there's no way you can pay somebody like 80% commission and still be profitable, Because like if you have employees, then have to add payroll tax on top of that.
Hmm.
So that's why like there's probably some things that you can learn from him that he does different than me. Um, I would just be careful with that in particular, right? The payroll and the pay situation, because that almost put me out of business several times. Putting,
Interesting.
uh, yeah, you have to keep your payroll costs under control. I don't listen to these. Most of the people that have strong opinions on how much you should pay barbers are people that don't own more than one shop, or have other ways of making money besides cutting hair. Like, you know, so if you want to grow your business and have it to be able to support your lifestyle, you have to make money on the barbers. And that's probably going to be one of the hardest beliefs to break, as switching from a barber to a barbershop owner, because you might feel like you're robbing people by not paying them what maybe you're used to yourself, but like the business has to make a profit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that might mean like, I was told you don't want to let your payroll get above 30 to 35% of revenue. That doesn't mean you can't pay them more than 30%, but you have to figure out other ways to make money if you want to pay them more than 30%. So, like, for example, selling products. So
Hmm.
you can maybe pay them 40% commission or 50% commission, even, which is really high if you're trying to make money, right? But they have to be doing other things that generate revenue too, besides services, like selling
Very
products.
interesting. Yeah, because now it seems that now I'm getting that mindset for sure. Like, damn, like 50%, that'd be kind of crazy for me, you know? 50, so you're saying 50-50, right?
I mean, I don't pay that. I try to keep it at between 30 and 40
Oh yeah,
is what they
that's
what they make, right? Um,
that's perfect.
but there's also like other ways that they can make money that's basically what I spent like all of last year doing, and what I'm gonna continue to do going into this year is just like, how else can they make money, but that doesn't like mean that I'm just raising my costs. That make sense? So like for
Interesting.
example, we created a membership program for our shop. So what the idea is, like, we can create recurring revenue for the business, and we can like lock in these clients for like long term, um, which ultimately makes you more money as a shop owner if you can figure out like how to keep people coming back longer. Because if somebody, like, on average, like, I think ours was like 6 months. Like, we would have a client for like 6 months and then they would leave, right?
Hmm.
That's not good, right? But if with a membership, we're finding that people stay for a year or more, which is double. You know? So I'm like, okay, so we by offering a membership, we can double what somebody spends with us. So now I have to figure out how to sell this membership. So then I start paying the barbers commission on the membership sales. They have an opportunity to earn more money. The shop makes more money. Everybody wins, right? So there's other ways you can create other ways for the barbers to make more besides just like cutting hair, you know. And I
Yeah,
think you should. I think you should have other ways to make more money besides cutting hair, you know.
interesting for sure. Yeah, I think you for sure you have you figured out. I never heard anybody say what you just said, and I don't know any barbershop running, at least through what I know in Vegas. I don't know anybody who's running it your way except Supercuts or Great Clips or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they're there for a reason, right? So they're doing something.
Yeah, it's because it's hard, right? It's
Yeah.
like It's way easier to just have 1099 independent contractors, put them on 50% commission, and just be like, here you go, good luck. Having employees, paying them hourly, figuring out like all these other incentives to grow, giving them benefits, like way harder, which is why most people don't do it.
Yeah, no. But that's the thing. If it's that's my mindset. I want to go the hard way because if I'm going the hard way, nobody wants to go the hard way, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's where the money's at. I mean, at least that's what I feel. Even though it's hard, have the right systems, have the right managers, and I don't really feel like it's going to be hard. Like I think the hard getting there, but I think maintaining. I don't know. Well, I'll see when I get there. I guess, right?
Hmm. I mean, that's exactly the mindset that I had, was essentially like, I'm doing this because it's hard. I'm doing this because nobody else will, you know. And I feel like in the beginning it's harder to do it the right way, to have employees, to do taxes and do all this stuff. In the long term though, I think it'll be the way that most barbershops operate. I think barbershops are going to start to separate, especially as like smarter and smarter people get into this business. You're going to start to see barbershop chains like that operate like we operate, just like doing things, employees, payroll, and then you're going to have like the mom and pop shops. But like everybody in the middle, I think they're not going to survive.
Yeah, that's the same thing I'm thinking about, Alex. I'm looking at AI. I'm looking about that stuff. I'm like, a lot of these other jobs, they're gonna be gone. So where are these people gonna go?
Yeah.
They're gonna go. Where are they gonna go? And I'm like, yeah, something's gonna happen. I think with the whole, I'm sure the tax people, they're gonna want they're gonna want to figure out how to tax people the right way, They want to have them as employees.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I know I'm over time, Alex. But thank you so much. I wanted to, meet you and sorry about this. I have really had some time today. Today was just New Year's and.
Well, you got a lot going on, man. To be honest, I almost forgot about our meeting too. But I have an alarm set on my phone so that I don't forget about this stuff.
I thought I did. I don't know. Yeah.
No, it's cool. Yeah, and I usually these calls are somewhere between a half hour to an hour anyway, so I have plenty of time. Do you have any other questions before I let you go?
I think I might have wrote something down because I remember you said write something. But if not,
I'm definitely going to be sending you the link to the software that I use. I'll send you for both the payroll and the appointment book. I think one piece of advice while you're looking up your question is to start off your barbershop the right way. I think you want to make yourself really easy to find. So if you're not already listed on Google and Yelp, Apple Maps, just like every place you can think of, I would start doing that like now, because that's how you start to get clients for free, is when people can find you. So have you started that process already?
I'm already on Google, but I think I'm on Google because they didn't give me notification this time like last time. Like I think they sent me an envelope, but it doesn't say nothing.
What's the name of your shop? I can see if I can find it.
So I called myself G Fates Barbershop Lounge.
Barbershop Lounge. And that's in Vegas.
Yeah.
I think it's showing up on. I don't know. Let me share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Is that it?
The G Face was my first shop, so I'm calling it. No, let me see. Go all the way to the top because it shows on the side on your right side.
This is it right here. Right. Is it right here?
Where's the mouse? I can't see the mouse. Oh yeah, yep. That G Face on you click in there, but I don't see it on your left side. On my left side, I guess.
So this is it right here, but it's not over here. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Let's go all the way up on the thing. Is that all the way up?
Yeah, I'm at the top here. So that's good. Do you have a website?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
I think that's Instagram for my old shop.
Okay. So, who owns this one?
Not there, I guess, right?
Who owns this shop?
Nobody. I think I might still have access. Oh, somebody owns it. I sold it. I ended up selling it. Somebody else
Oh,
owns it, but not. They don't have the access to the thing to Instagram.
oh, perfect. So then you can just change the name.
That that's what I think. But I think I might have forgot exactly the password. But I'm think I could figure it out.
Yeah, and this is yours as well. This is G Fades Barbershop
I guess so.
on
Yeah.
Yelp.
Oh yeah. That's my first shop.
Hell yeah, man. I would see if I could reopen this and just like change the address
I think
to your
it
new
might not
one.
have the best reviews. Does it matter?
I mean, this is not bad. Like four out of. I mean, you can always start from brand new if you want. I don't think this is bad at all. 4 out of 5 stars. You just get some more so that you can raise the average. But it's not bad.
Because they can change the location, right, with Yelp and stuff.
You can,
Is that
yeah,
how it
you
works?
should be able to just change the address. Yeah, I know
Interesting.
that's how Google works because I moved my first shop from where the original location was to where it is now, and I was afraid of moving because I thought I was gonna have to, restart. But all I had to do was change the address, and then I was like, oh, that's cool. So it's the same with
So,
Yelp. Like I just instead of having to start from nothing, you can just maybe change the address, and now you have like you can get clients from day one because you've already started the process. You just kind of have to just change the
okay.
address
For my first shop, on my second shop, I was killing it on the reviews. I think I might have the most reviews in the city in that shop.
on
Uh,
Google or on Yelp,
yeah, on Google.
and you shut it down like on Google.
No, I give it to the guy because I told both shops I didn't close down. I was able to exit those and still. I took a loss in my first one, and then the second one, I kind of recouped, so I was able to break even at the end. But I was very nervous about that. 'Cause I was like,
228 weeks ago, it was the last post. So yeah, I don't think he's
yeah,
been active on there.
yeah, COVID messed me up. That's what messed me up, Alex. Like
Mm-hmm.
even though my second shop, I already was trying to do commission, and I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to do it manually, which it was probably legally, but I was trying to figure it out. And at the end, I started having bad anxiety, panic attacks. So that's when I gave up. I sold my first shop first before the attacks because I was like, let me focus on this commission thing. Let me try to figure it out by myself. Like 4 or 5 years ago, I think 4 years ago. Uh, and then I started having these panic attacks, and I'm like, you know what? I think my health is priority, and these barbers are giving me headaches. So I ended up selling the
Yeah.
second shop, and then I focused on my health. I finally recovered mentally and physically. That's before even the shop thing, Alex. My
Mm-hmm.
priority is my health. Like I'm not sacrificing my health for anything, not even for a shop. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing the game because it's fun, right?
Yeah, it can be.
I want to do something. It's fun, right? But I'm not sacrificing my health. So right now I've been going to the gym for like over a year every single day, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to eat clean. I'm trying to figure that out. But my health after that whole experience, I'm like, there's no point in being rich if I'm not I'm sorry if I'm not healthy. You know?
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, you also perform better as a barber and as a business owner if you're taking care of yourself. Like, how can you take care of other people if you can't take care of yourself? So,
I never thought about that one, but you're right.
yeah, and it takes a lot of discipline, and I'm not perfect at it. But definitely, the better you take care of yourself, the more that's gonna show, you know,
Yeah.
in the business. Like, and that's with everything. Like, if you can't manage your personal finances, you're gonna have the same challenge with the business finances. Like, so all these things, relate to each other. Personal wise, also gets reflected in business. So, but this is good, man. That you have it. Do you have like friends and family that you can share this link with and start getting some reviews?
Yeah, I
I'll
was
write
just
you
gonna do
one.
that now. I was
I'll write you
Yeah, I was gonna
one. There you go.
appreciate it. Oh, that is the G Fest Lounge. You found it?
Yeah, it's on this the right my right side here. This hold on. Let me finish writing you this review. Hopefully this is you. uh, this one right here on the right.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's at 4700 Meadows Lane.
yeah. Meadows Lane. Yep.
All right. Well, you got your first
So
review. There you
Thank you, Alex.
go.
So I like the spot. I really thought about it a lot. Uh, I'm right next to a high school, so I think that's a good thing.
hmm
And I'm next to a freeway, so
So
so the
there's
high
a.
school's.
I made a whole course about this.
I
If
don't
you,
think I've seen it.
what's up?
I don't think I saw that. Yeah, the course.
So this is the school group that you're in,
Yeah.
and I think you
I
have.
don't. I mean, I don't think the specific thing you were talking about. Some of it is closed for some reason. Do I need to buy the yearly or something?
Are you on the let's see, are you on this the what's it called, the monthly?
Yeah, I think I'm a
Okay.
monthly. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's two ways. There's two ways to access that. Since it's let's see, the Google course unlocks at, or it might be a time unlock. Let me see how I set it up. So this is what I'm talking about, how to get clients for free with Google.
I think it could be locked. I'm just looking at the cutting hair faster, and I think that was my question there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can either like engage in the group and get to level 5
Gotcha.
to unlock this Google course, or you do the annual, right, which is unlocks everything. And then you see that where it says level
Yep.
5,
Yep.
and then or you could, or when people upgrade to annual, then that unlocks everything inside the group.
Perfect.
But basically, yeah, you want to get reviews. You want to upload as many photos as you can to your Google Maps and put a lot of keywords in there, and then the rest is like getting reviews, like getting how to get reviews, because
Yeah.
that's the easiest way to start getting new clients, I think, is by starting to build that reputation on Google.
As far as Google, like I told you, Alex, I was the number one reviewed shop in Vegas. So, and I
That's
did it because before anybody started using this QR code, I was
mm-hmm,
already on it.
mm-hmm,
Like nobody figured it out. I was like, let me figure it out. I had every client because it was during COVID. Every client scan that code and give
yeah,
me a review. So I was the number one guy, and my main goal there was to get the strip people to come to me. And I wasn't that
mm-hmm.
close, but I was close enough, and it
Okay,
worked. It worked,
well
but the
that's good to
managing
know.
was my issue. The managing, the
Yeah,
barbers were just fighting each other. Bro, it was hell. That's why
yeah,
I think it could be.
it's gonna be, it's gonna be work even with employees. They're not just gonna just do what
Oh
you
yeah,
say just because they're an
I already
employee,
know.
But like that's where hiring comes in, and I'm actually working on a course right now about how to hire barbers. So I'll be adding that to the group once it's done. This one's gonna take a while to make just because there's a lot. There's a lot
Yeah.
of that goes into it, but basically, like if you hire people that used to be employees at another place, probably gonna be a little bit easier as far as managing them goes if you pick the right people, because the hard part is like when you get a barber who used to be on booth rent, and now you're on commission, now you're an employee, you have to be here a certain time. Sometimes it's difficult for them to make that change. Like I've seen it happen, but it's harder, to get them to have that different mindset of like, I'm an employee now, I have to clock in when I get here, I have to clock out when I leave, you know I have to follow these standards, that, so sometimes it's hard for people to make that jump.
Yeah, so that's the thing for sure. I gotta try to figure that out. But yeah, I heard you say that for sure. It's easier to hire to get people that have already been on that system, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not that like you shouldn't hire somebody that used to be on booth rent. It's just in my experience, they are usually harder to like work with because they're not used to being told what to do, or they're not used to being held to a schedule and stuff like that. They're used to coming and going. Like that's a lot of a lot of the appeal of being on booth rent is you have that like freedom, you know.
Yeah, I guess there was. I think something was popping in my head as far as uh oh yeah, are you guys allowed over there in Florida? Like, do you mix Cosmo and barbering together in one building? I mean, one. How does or you do you only hire barbers? How do you do it?
So most of our barbers are actually cosmetologists, because I
Gotcha.
found that, I mean, to me it doesn't matter whether they're a barber, cosmetologist. Like I don't care. Like I'm just looking for people that can cut hair, you know, or even if they don't know how to cut hair, like if it's the right person, I'm willing to train them, you know. And in Florida, it's not like super heavily enforced as far as like
The razor.
cosmetologists. Yeah, yeah, cosmetologists use the razor all the time in our shop, and we've never had an issue with it. We just had our inspection like a few weeks ago, passed, flying colors, and everybody that was working that day that the inspector came was a cosmetologist.
So that's an issue here though, because they're very, very strict here. You
Okay.
know, Vegas is strict. I know most places are not. I think Vegas is like one of the strictest places. So the thing is, it costs a lot more money to open a shop for sure.
Hmm.
And the thing is, you can't mix Cosmo and Barber, you know, because there's two different boards here. There's a Barber board and there's a Cosmo board. It's two
So
boards.
you've heard of people getting in trouble for that, like for
I
cosmetologists.
just heard, I never heard anybody do it here in Vegas. You know,
Hmm.
and I'm realizing because that's one thing I'm listening to, and I'm realizing that's probably a key point that a lot of Cosmos are probably like the employees, you know, that are willing to do that employee stuff. And you're saying it yourself, right?
I
Um,
mean, in my experience, yeah, yeah, they
uh,
because I like to hire from places like Sport Clips and these big chain places that they're used
that's
so
the
they're used to
problem.
the structure, you know.
Yeah, that's one of the problems I'm gonna have because that's a whole different board, a whole different system, whole different licenses that I need in order to hire, right? You can't mix both in the same building unless you have a wall dividing it. And even then, I think
Well,
they'll
I mean, I
only
guess it
Barber board.
depends on what you mean because the so my cosmetologists that work for me only do barber stuff. Like they don't do anything else. They're barbers. They're just their license as cosmetologists.
Yeah, they have to have the say Barber. But I'm not saying it's going to be a problem, but I
Mhm.
think it's going to be a little more difficult to find because I do feel like those people coming from those will 100% will want to go to like a higher commission or like you said a more independent, higher paying. Then
Mhm.
because I heard about those guys, I heard they work you pretty crazy.
Oh yeah,
Like
for sure. I mean,
and you're not even getting paid like that, you know?
it's not hard to like beat what those places pay too, you know. So it's and they're usually happy to make the switch. The I think if it's that strict, then just don't have them use the razor, you know. Like they can do everything else. You know?
That's the thing, though. That's another problem. Hold up, I don't want to cut you just your time, but it's like you need. I think you're gonna need a Cosmo. I don't understand the Cosmo way, right? How do you run that, right? How do you run the Cosmo? Because if I'm a barbershop, uh, all I know is you have to have a wall separating Cosmo and barbers, right? That's all I know. Right? And it is weird. I'm telling you, I think Nevada's probably one of the only states. I think I heard Texas, California, they don't care about this. Most, even most countries don't even have a barber license, need a barber license. But yeah, so that's the issue. But I know that it's going to be easier to do is if I find those Cosmo and try to transform to me because they work faster and they know better customer service and they know sales, like you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Compared to barbers. Uh, so that's the thing. I'm gonna need a wall, and I'm gonna need to get a whole different licenses to open at the Cosmo or whatever Cosmo, what do you, whatever you call that,
Mm-hmm.
Cosmo building or
I don't know.
yeah.
I,
So, but here's one thing I'm thinking about because I am Cosmo. I got my license this year,
okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
As a hairdresser, I guess. Well, no, hair designer. But so I don't have the full access. I could only cut hair, I guess. But it's enough for me to cut out super cuts and great clips. But I'm thinking maybe with that license, I'm able to open and split because I'm still gonna need to split. I don't think it needs to cover to the ceiling, but I'm thinking it could be an opportunity because I think that's one thing I'm listening to you that those Cosmos are more willing to be on that commission rate and come hungrier, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I'm not gonna tell you to do anything that's illegal. I just found in my case there is room for interpretation when it comes to the law. And like in our case, it definitely says like cosmetologists cannot use a razor, but in like actual life,
Yeah,
like we've never had an issue with it.
yeah.
So
I
I would
feel you.
just
That's
the easiest thing to
100%.
do is just to kind of see, are there other barbershops in your area that have figured it out, that are hiring Cosmos,
Yeah.
that know how to do it? Because if they
Um,
figured it out, then you could do it.
that is very good advice, Alex, and I appreciate you. I'm gonna look into it, but I don't think I've ever seen it. So I could be the first one if I figure that out. You know,
What's like the biggest, some of the biggest competition in that area, you think?
Barber.
Mm-hmm.
If I would say Barber, we got. I see. I think me at competition. Most shops I don't really think they're competition, but if I were to name some of them, it would be V's Barbershop because
Mm-hmm.
they run a commission
Yeah.
based thing. I think, and just Fino, and they're like a high end barbershop. That's the only two I could think about.
So does
Most of the other shops are running booth rental, and we're barbers. We come from barber, no business guidance. So most of them are booth rents, like probably 98%.
does V's hire cosmetologists? It
I
looks
don't think so. No.
so they all have to be barbers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Legally, unless he turns into a Cosmo. Is it two different? We got two boards. I think you guys only have one, right? For barber and board. Barber and
No,
board.
we have two as well.
Oh, that
That's
is
just like
weird.
Florida's like so much easier. It sounds like.
No, no, that is weird because I heard a lot of people. I think California's then they only have one board.
Hmm. Yeah, some
Yeah,
places don't even have like a cosmetology or barber board at all. It's just like all cosmetology. I think New Jersey's like that. It's like they're all cosmetologists.
yeah, yeah. I think that's the thing. Yeah, no, no, but fees is the only. I feel like it's the only competition, and I know the guy, the owner. He owns two, and he's partnered up with V's. V's is like a high. It's like what is it? One of those barber franchises,
Hmm.
right? I think that's like the only barber franchise that I heard of. I never heard of another. I think maybe
There's
another.
yeah, there's no, there's they're popping up, man. That's why I'm saying like the competition in the next like 10 years is gonna be insane because there's barbershops out there that have like 50 locations. You know,
Yeah,
like
but
they know their shit.
but I feel like in Vegas is very hard. That's why I feel like V's even struggling. They're struggling because it's hard to find the barbers. And you say the barber mentality. Why would I go to commission when I have booth rental available at so many locations, and I could pretty much book myself, and well, I don't need to pay. I pay my rent, and as long as I can manage myself,
Hmm.
all my profit. I mean, if I think about it like that, I'm sure a lot of barbers think about it like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
the hard part's gonna be well. Yeah, that's why you have to try to figure out like V's is probably a great place to hire from because if you can figure out the Cosmo thing, right? Now, if it turns out that you can only hire barbers, then that's fine. There's probably plenty of barbers there, you know?
but yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a little rough because of the commission thing. I mean, because of the booth rental thing. But I'll figure it out. I think you gave me so many good ideas, so much value, Alex, and I really appreciate you. Uh, and it's taking my call a little late because I totally forgot. I thought I set these alarms. I thought I did, but
It's
I
all
feel
good.
like I have a little bit of dyslexia, man. I'm a little bit hard time managing my time. So I'm very very sorry about that. Uh, but
That's yeah. I mean, that's it's a skill that everybody has to learn ultimately.
yeah,
I think because it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're just getting started or you're a multi-billionaire. You have 24 hours in a day. So then
yeah,
it's just like, well, what are the people that are at the top doing differently? They don't have any more time than you. They probably have just better time management skills. So
yeah. And I think at this, I feel like I do need to implement better time strategies because I do feel like I don't know. I barely started finding about dyslexia, and it's like you have hard time with time. You have like way harder time than regular people. And it's something I was like, why am I so hard with this stuff? But anyway, thank you so much, Alex, and I appreciate your guidance, man.
for sure, man. We'll do another call sometime next month. You use the group though to any questions you have that we didn't cover today. Post it inside the
Perfect.
group.
And happy New Year's.
Yeah, same to you, man.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep. Bye.